comments have you heard from folks who maybe are trying their first Middle Eastern dishes about surprise or what stood out to them?
I mean, we get a lot of them. You know, one of my favorite comments of somebody who was very off base but enjoyed it nonetheless said he didn't really know Indian food very well, but this was the best Indian food he ever had.
Oh no!
Which was a comment, a compliment. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We don't expect people to come in
Yeah.
and know the cuisine. A lot of times we'll see people like secretly trying to Google things on their phone
Yeah.
because they don't understand the terms, and we don't expect them to. It's, a lot of the food is relatable. We have a fetair on the menu that is, it's kind of like a calzone. It's a stuffed bread, but the name kind of throws people off at first, or, there's just different things like that, it's just food that's delicious and warm and spiced, and it's comfort food for sure.
One of the misconceptions is that it is a very monolithic cuisine, that it's just, hummus and bread and kebabs and rice. But it's not. There's a lot of variety to it, and there's a lot of nuance in the food. It's very, very detailed and can vary so much depending on where it's coming from in the Middle East. You're going to come in and find something that you probably haven't had before, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised by it.
So you mentioned Middle Eastern cuisine. Obviously, that's the focus here. Hrant, would you tell us a little bit about your background and cultural heritage?
Yeah, so my dad's side of the family is Armenian from Lebanon. My mom was from East Tennessee, and they met in college and moved overseas and had family and sister and I over there. So there was a lot of this influence of different cuisine, Armenian, Turkish, Lebanese, Syrian, all just kind of in our house. And then my mother, who, from East Tennessee, had never seen this before, like really fell in love with it. And so when we would, make meals at home, that would be the food that we would cook.
When folks come into either Lyra or Vega Shawarma, what are your hopes? What do you hope that they leave with?
A full belly and a smile.
A full belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah.